Okay, I'm going to make a video today. I've been asked about my particular health journey or whatever. So I thought I'd put together a quick slide and just summarize it just for the record, just so people know where I'm coming from and maybe they can relate to some of this stuff. Really, it started out, and you go back over, when I was born in 1966. So it, I was if you go back and look at the pictures, I was a real fat baby. I was put on like rice cereal or whatever very early in life, very fat. And then I grew up as a fat kid. Now, by today's standards, I probably wouldn't be considered that fat because, children nowadays are much more obese than they were then. But at that time, and it was, and it was brutal being fat then. I got made fun of quite a bit and all this other kind of stuff. Now, this is just a side note. The only redeeming factor was I'm a little bit bigger than most people. So, they made fun of me too much. I just punch them out. But anyhow, that's just a side. But anyway, yeah. But then when I got to puberty or whatever, the weight came down. Things sort of came back into play, and then I stayed pretty much thin through my young adult life, up probably to close to 30 or so. And then when I got married, and I was almost 30 when I got married, so then started a family, and I really started to put on weight then. And during the pregnancy of our first child, my wife was, she had a mild case of gestational diabetes. So, we had a glucometer and all that stuff at the house. So I started checking my own blood sugar, and it was all over the place. So then I went to the doctor, and they said, "Hey, look, you got, you're technically a diabetic." Now, I wasn't a real bad diabetic, but they had the diet and the exercise or whatever. Now, when I was in this stage of my life, when I was a young adult, I used to work out and exercise and a lot of lifting weights and whatever. So I was accustomed to that. So that was not really that big of an issue. The problem was really the energy, and you had a family, and I had a job. I was working as an engineer, and it was pretty high stress. So then I went on the ADA diet, and I want to give a little bit of background with diabetes. Now, my maternal grandmother, she died from renal failure associated with diabetes. And it was ugly, folks. Diabetes is an ugly disease. There's no doubt about it. So I went on this ADA diet, which was a low-fat diet. And I can tell you from my experience with this, even though I did lose some weight initially, this diet is dreadful. I mean, I could never, I was hungry all the time. But and then I was they were giving me some medication, and I do not remember what it was or really what it was doing, but I was putting on weight in the long term. When I went on this diet, this ADA diet, I lost weight initially, but then it slowly came back. So over, and this is the course of a year or two, I put on some weight, which really, and then the symptoms of the diabetes were getting worse. So then I started doing my own research. This was around 2000 or whatever. And, that I learned about the Atkins diet, which is low carbohydrate diet. and then I lost a bunch of weight. I probably, if I remember correctly, I was probably weighing in the mid 250s or something like that, and I lost down probably about about 210 or something like that. And that worked pretty good. And I liked the Atkins diet at the time, low carbohydrate. It was easy to comply with, and I didn't have to take any of this medication, and my blood sugars and glucose and all very much stabilized. Okay, now here, and this is the course of a number of years. This wasn't real quick in the weight gain back. I was in the job I had at that time. It was very, very stressful. And I was also drinking, and I drank excessive alcohol. And the amazing thing here was I was putting on weight, but I didn't have a blood glucose issue because I had cut out a lot of the sugars and stuff like that. So I wasn't getting a big roller coaster, but I did put on this weight. And I think, I attribute it to the alcohol. And my body fat level was about 45. I got up to over 290. I was about 292. That's the highest that I ever weighed myself. I may have been heavier, but that was the highest that I remember. And that's about 133 kg, depending on where you live in the world. Then after that got enough was enough. I was having, being this heavy, and my heart goes out to people that are that heavy, because this is not a good place to be. Your quality of life is terrible. Okay, now I went back on, low carb diet. It was when I say keto-ish, I really didn't pay that close of attention to, the actual ketone levels in the blood, but it was a real low carbohydrate diet, and I was getting a lot of fat. Now, I went back down to about here, where people wouldn't think you're fat, but in my opinion, I was fat. I wasn't real fat, but I was fat. I was probably around the 230, 235 or something like that, which probably was around 25, 28% body fat, something like that. And again, I don't get these DEXA scans or any of this stuff. I'm just guessing, take some, I use, when I say about the body fat level, I'm talking about, I was using like a tape test from the Army or whatever. So, along about this time, I stopped the alcohol. I don't drink nowadays, because it's like I either drink or I don't. So I don't do that. And then the thing that was interesting was I really didn't lose any more weight, even though I wasn't drinking anymore. There was strict ketosis or keto right here. And this is where I did start taking a lot of the, I had a breathalyzer that I was using to see how much it was. Now, then I got down, this worked to a degree. And then I started doing some fasting, some intermittent type fasting, maybe one meal a day. And then I started doing maybe, 36 hours and whatnot here. And then I got to the carnivore diet. That's when I heard about that. So I just quit eating the plants, and I dropped some more weight. And a side effect that I was not expecting was during all of this time, I had issues with my sinuses. I would always have trouble with, I'd get up in the morning and my sinuses would drain, and I would just sneeze and hack and carry on. Or if there's any kind of allergens or anything in the air, I'd get sinus infections. And that all went away when I cut out all the plants. So now, and my weight right now at this filming is about a little under 200 pounds. Probably, I think 198 or so is what I weighed this morning. on just a kitchen scale. I don't know how accurate it is, but and that's 90 kilos. And really, my target weight is under 190, probably 188, 187, which is about 85 kilos. That's what I'm trying to get to where I'm down here or something. I don't really care anything about being real lean. Right now, I mean, I'm not viewed as being fat. I don't feel fat. But it's just a target condition. But one of the things that I have been doing lately is I discovered this PE type diet, which is really protein to energy. So I've upped a lot of the protein and, cut down, which I wasn't doing any carbs anyway here, but then it's really about eating more, not getting as much fat in the diet. See how that goes. And it's actually helped out quite a bit. I mean, it's working out. Now this is recent and I haven't been doing it for that long. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that. It's, if you comment or whatever. So it gives you just a little background of where I'm from. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Please like and share and put any discussion points in the comments below. Thank you very much. You have a good day.